Hello and welcome to the Halloween Horror Events podcast. And yet, that's right, that's not Simon doing the intro because I didn't tell Simon and Joe I'm doing this episode. So what's this episode about? Plain and simple, we're doing Universal Studios Christmas Nightmares. I'm going to do a Halloween Horror Nights event based on Christmas. And I'm going to say a few things to you after this, so let's go. Demons call our name, bold and fearless in this game. On this wild ride we dwell, Halloween horror events spell. Down the shadows we can tell, dance and level under a witch's spell. Right, everybody, before I get any further, don't forget to follow us on the socials at HHE Pod and on TikTok at HHE Pod 1. This is only a podcast episode. Normally, every episode would also be on YouTube at HHE Pod. Can't get it right, Simon does it all the time. But we are now known as Halloween Horror Events. The sheer factor of that was me saying, if someone comes into a podcast app or something and sees the words HHE Pod, what the hell does that mean? Nothing. But Halloween Horror Events gives you a bit more of an idea. So, as you heard me alluding to earlier, I'm just going to have a quick drink because I'm on my own, so I can do what I want. Right. I said, let's make a Universal Studios Halloween Horror Nights event for Orlando. Nightmare event. I've cheated. I've used AI. Some of the ideas from AI I've thrown out because they're stupid, and I'll tell you when they come up. And some of them on me, on my own. So, a terrifying twist. On the holidays, imagine your favourite festive season twisting into a Yuletide terror fest. Here is a full lineup of IP-based haunted houses, original concepts, scare zones, and chilling event icon to tie the whole event together. So, we're going to start with the 5 IPs first. I think that's probably the best way to do it. Sorry, guys, I'm not used to doing this on my own anymore. Woo. Number 1, Krampus's Revenge. Very simple. Based on the movie Krampus of 2015, I know we've had this before, but let's bring it back. The Krampus returns, but this time he's angrier than ever. So, a little twist to it. Navigate through a snow-laden house with gingerbread men, attack toys come alive, and the spirit of the holiday has been replaced by pure vengeance. Let's make it a bit more bloody, a bit more violent this time. One I think everyone would love to have. Gremlins. Holiday Havoc based on Gremlins 1984. So as you can see, I'm not keeping it straight to the movies. I'm trying to mix something into it. I think because I've seen Horror Nights do this lately with like Ghostbusters, Frozen Ice, whatever it's called. Ice Age, whatever I want to call the film. I don't know what it's called. Who cares? But they did it and it made it better. So enter Kingston's Falls as it falls to chaos. During Christmas, the gremlins are loose, causing havoc at every turn from the department store to the snowy streets. Holiday cheer has never been so deadly. Come on, who doesn't want gremlins? I would love gremlins there. I'm not sure what's to do with the contracts and that. I presume that's always been the problem, but I know Simon himself would cry happy tears if that came. So, Black Christmas, Silent Night, Deadly Night. Based on Black Christmas 1974 and Silent Night, Deadly Night 1984. Haven't seen these, so you guys need to tell me about this. Remember, this is AI helping me out here. 2 slasher legends come together in one house as you venture through a sorority house, a quiet neighbourhood, evade the deranged killer lurking in the shallows, blending Christmas horror and classics into a brutal experience. Interesting. I don't know anything about it, so I can't really elaborate. This is the one I'm taking out. A Nightmare Before Christmas. Disney. I see the problem here already. But we're going to put Terrifier 3 on its own. Just Terrifier 3 because it's Christmas. Simple. We've all seen it lately. Probably, or most of us have seen it. It's a great Christmas movie now. I think it's probably one of the best Christmas movies ever made. We know we're probably in Halloween Horror Nights very soon. We're probably going to get one. More on that on the next episode, where me, Simon and Joe are predicting HHN 35, but with a twist. Now what you're thinking, What's the twist? Well, you'll have to go and listen to that episode on New Year's Day to find out. Sorry, my laptop's also making vlogs for me at the same time, so I'm doing loads of things at the same time here. Pretty cool. Right, number 5, Anna and the Apocalypse, musical mayhem. Yet again, based on the movie Anna and the Apocalypse 2017, a festive zombie outbreak during Christmas. Yes, fight your way through a high school turned into a battlefield where the undead carolers, tinsel-wrapped horror and weaponized candy canes await. I feel like I need to watch this movie because I have no clue what it is, but AI is finding these things, and it may be a good way for me in the future to watch Christmas and Halloween stuff, horror, all together. Right, we are now quickly going to move on to original haunted houses, but before we do, could you do me a favour? On your podcast app of choice, just give us a great review and share our podcast to friends. We are really trying to grow this podcast now. I know I can be nearly a lot of time on the podcast, but I love horror events, and I know you do too. And the only way we can improve is if we get feedback from people who get hold of us on the socials and that, and join with us. We really want a community. Right, so the original haunted houses. Number 1, Yule Log Curse. A seemingly innocent Christmas tradition turns deadly as you venture into the cursed Victorian manor. The crackling Yule log awakens a demonic spirit. Can you escape before the consumed by flames and vengeance? Use your imagination what that could be. It sounds a clever idea, Victorian. So I would probably set this back in the Victorian era as well. I think that would be brilliant. Set it in London. Number 2, Frostbite. Just a quick drink again. As I'm saying, we used to have other people talking, so it helps us out here. Little sip. Frostbite. Explore an abandoned North Pole research station trapped in eternal winter. Mutated creatures lurk beneath the ice, and the chilling cold is the least of your worries. I love cold, snowy, freezing houses. I think this would be brilliant. And zombie polar bears, penguins, what can fly, or like vampires, mindless things you can think of, and then things you wouldn't think of. Maybe the workers are there have also become sort of zombie sort creatures. Zombie vampires. Woo! Number 3, Santa Slaughterhouse. A demented Santa and his helpers have turned their workshop into a terrifying slaughterhouse. Will you make it past the mutilated toys and blood-soaked candy canes? Now, this reminds me, Slaughter Cinema 2. They had the Santa Claus thing in there. So if you've been through HHN last year, well, the last one really, not last year because this is still out in the same year. But if you know what I mean, it had the Santa Claus bit in there, and they were doing this type of stuff. And I actually think it would make a house. And clearly AI either know that or have thought of a good idea exactly the same. So number 4 in the originals. The Gift of Dread. You receive a mysterious gift box. Inside lies a curse. This physiological nightmare weaves through disordered holiday memories, where the joy giving has been replaced with sheer terror. So it's kind of a nightmare, really, I suppose. Some of your greatest Christmas memories, maybe with families, shopping, going out for dinners, and really bad murders and that happen, maybe. That's the only thing I can think of how that one would work. I'm not too sure of that one. Number 5, the final house. Winter's Wrath. An ancient spirit of winter has awoken to punish those who disrespect the season. Traverse through an icy forest and cursed village with the frost-covered horror stalk the prey. Now, when we get to the icon for the event, this actually fits in really well. Anyway, let's move on to the scare zones. Spooky Christmas ones, we could say. Number 1. So this will fit with Santa as well. Elf's invasion. Crazed elves have escaped Santa's workshop armed with sharp tools. These little maniacs spread fear and chaos, turning the streets into a nightmare and factory. So if they could have this one outside a house, you can merge a house and a scare zone together. And I've always kind of liked that idea. Number 2. The Nutcracker's Revenge. Life-size Nutcracker soldiers are possessed, enforcing a sinister version of Christmas discipline. Don't let them catch you for misbehaving. So do you remember, is it the Santa Claus Disney movie 2 or 3? Like that. But you can see people getting tortured by them and that in the streets. That would be pretty cool. Number 3. Frozen Souls. The ghost of those who froze on Christmas Eve wanders in search of warmth. The icy touch might just turn you into one of them. So this would have to be a quite dark zone, maybe have it in a cemetery area, something like that. I think that could work. And the idea is they only show up Christmas time looking for life again. Not the greatest, but there's always one bad one, in my opinion. Caroling Cadaverous, something like that. A choir of undead carolers, so zombies for me, or vampires, which could go with Vampire 85 and all them sort of house scare zones, roam the park singing twisted version of holiday classics. Each song brings to a new go. So maybe not have them in one zone, but they could just go around zones, all the zones. How cool would that be? Just singing twisted carol songs. I kind of like that idea. Okay, last one. Reindeer Rampage. Santa reindeers have gone feral, mutated by dark magic. Hooves stomp, antlers, gore, and festive bells now signal doom. This would be a hard one to do, I think. I mean, how would you do reindeers? I think you'd have to have them like in like boxes and maybe on stands, but you see eating bodies and humans and things like that, if you get what I mean. I think that would be a pretty hard one to do, in all fairness. I should have read that one. I didn't read it. Well, we're getting to the event icon. As I said, would fit in with one of the houses or zones. I think it was a house, wasn't it? Right, event icon. The Frost King. Original name. Backstory. Yeah, even gives you a backstory. The Frost King is an ancient winter entity born from the darkest nights of the season. Tired of humanity's commercialization of this sacred cold season, he returns every year to reclaim. So we're going to change it to every few years or every 5 years, I think. Winter through fear and frost. Draped in icy cloak with jagged crystalline armour, he breathes chills and air and curses the land with perpetual winter, so winter all the time. His crown of a twisted icicle symbolises his reign of terror, while his glowing blue eyes pierce the hearts of those who dare disrespect the season. He is the embodiment of merciless winter, beautiful, cold and deadly. So yeah, maybe he'll take your souls and make you one of his warriors that works for him if you disobey his way of doing stuff. So every 3 to 5 years comes out and that's what he does. They've even given him a catchphrase: bow to the cold or become part of it. Ooh. So this holiday horror experience ensures you'll never look at Christmas the same way again. Halloween Christmas. That is awesome. Now, what did you think of that? I think it's pretty cool. I think some of the ideas would need a little bit more work on them, but I thought we would do that. Now, why have I done this episode? It's the end of the year, as we know, and we want to say to you, have a merry, gory Christmas. I want to say to Simon and Joe as well, thank you for everything you do. Normally, I couldn't do this on my own. This is a one-off. I didn't want them to know about it because I just want to thank them. I want to thank Simon for being the main host now. He keeps us in check. Joe, when he can make it on, I love his honest reviews. I also want to thank the listeners, the watchers, and the people on social media. Without you, this wouldn't be something we would probably do as much as we do. As you can see, we are trying to go a lot of episodes with a theme now. We're talking news and that as well. So I hope you like this. The next episode, as I said, is Happy New Fears. That is HHN, is it 34 next? 35, I think it's 34. Where we're going to talk about our picks and our ideas that are coming to Halloween Horror Nights that year in 2025. Predicting away. Could be right, could be wrong. We did actually record it before I've recorded this, so it was recorded at the beginning of December. So some of the things that I think we've brought up have also already been rumoured. What makes us pretty happy that we know that. As I said earlier, though, subscribe to us on YouTube. It's free after all. Podcast app of your choice. Give us a great review and share us with your friends. And follow us on the socials at HHE Pod. But TikTok, because I'm awkward, is HHE Pod 1. Well, it's only me, so there's only one out, ain't there? See you in the nightmares, stay epic, and have a very gory Christmas. See you in the new year.
Moving along way exit is